Welcome back. So I'm excited today because it's the 1st of September 2025 and I'm going to do a creative oracle reading for the month so that all of us creatives and artisans can have a little bit of guidance and direction. So I am once again using the Creative Oracle deck, and I spent quite a little bit of time shuffling the cards. It's a huge deck, like way too big for me. So I have to split it in half, which is why we're having two cards. And I really asked that the cards and the guidance that comes through today would be for our community, for you, for those watching, both in Patreon and YouTube, and not for me personally, because I use these cards quite a lot for my own personal creative guidance and development. And I had to laugh because the first card that came out was so on point for me that I thought, yeah, I don't know why I keep forgetting that you and me are one and we are all connected. So, of course, if you're watching my content, if you're part of my Patreon community, then clearly whatever I'm going through, you might be going through something similar. So let's jump into it. The first card was willpower. And the reason I was laughing is because today I have been facing my fears and I have gone back after a really long break, like over a year, to oil painting. I dipped my toes into the water a little while ago, very reluctant, didn't think it was me. I do really love my watercolors. I love playing with acrylic, but I've always been scared of oils because as far as my painting and drawing goes, I don't yet feel that I'm skillful enough. And oil paints are like playing with the big guys, you know, that seems like really serious and they're expensive and they're messy and I don't like the cleanup and I don't like the smell, but I do like the results. So, yes, I've been doing a little bit of study, online study with a beautiful artist, and she paints only in oils. So it's like, okay, time to face my fears. So I got all the stuff out and a lot of it had dried up and it's expensive. So really pissed off because I'd only used, one of the mediums a little bit, the other one had evaporated, the linseed oil had all gone jelly. I was like, oh God, but that's okay. I am determined to show up and to practice and to allow myself to make mistakes. In fact, I expect to make shit paintings because at this stage I'm like a toddler. I have no idea what I'm doing. I watch the instruction videos, and then I take in tiny bits of information, and then each time I have a go, some of that information is retained and comes through in my work. And it is painful, and it takes courage, and it takes tenacity. Tenacity is my favorite word. I'm saying that to my Tambour students all the time. You have to practice. You have to be tenacious. You can't give up. Because the reward at the end of it is going to be so fulfilling. And even now, I find for oil painting, I stand, I listen to music. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon is my favorite at the moment. And I just allow the marks to come through me, and it's a very embodying thing, and I'm not a very embodied person, so I think that's part of the fear and the reluctance around it. And at the same time, that's the gift, because my body gets moved and the movements come through and my emotions come through. So now giving myself permission as a highly skilled artist in textiles and embroidery to just paint shit and not have any expectations is very freeing, because it's unrealistic for me to think I can paint anything more. And every time I make a good mark or a mark that's pleasing, it registers in my body and it builds confidence. And Not confidence in my skills as yet, but confidence in the fact that if I keep showing up and I am tenacious, I will eventually be able to paint something that I'm proud of, that is pleasing to me. So willpower. How do you feel about willpower? What meaning does that have for you? I think in the past, when I was younger, willpower was me setting a goal and getting out the whip and literally whipping myself step by step till I reached that goal, or metaphorically. If I didn't perform or if I didn't practice, then I would get that whip out and beat myself up, and judge myself for it. Willpower no longer looks like that to me. Like yesterday was Sunday and I had planned to go to the art supply store and then come back and paint. And I just didn't. I just couldn't. I was exhausted. I was in a completely different headspace emotionally and physically. And I just knew that it wasn't the right thing to get that whip out and, force myself to do it. So for me, willpower looked like resting yesterday and allowing my body and my nervous system to recalibrate after a very stressful week. And then this morning, I felt far better and I was ready to go to the art store, which I did in the pouring rain, and came back, did some work, and then, had a session in the studio, and it was really good. It felt good. So that's what willpower looks like for me. No longer hitting myself with a big stick, but listening to my body and allowing for the, ups and downs that we encounter as a highly sensitive, artistic person, but not giving up and staying true to the calling that's been deep within me for many, many years. So let me read to you what the book says about willpower. The willpower card is an indication that the situation in question requires you to not compromise, but to exert your willpower. It is also a reminder that within us, we each have a vibrant warrior who is always ready to stand up and defend our right to live creatively. And here she is, the textile warrior, with a couple of spirit animals there and some Aztec-y prints down the bottom. From our willpower comes our confidence and resolve to initiate action and bring it to a successful conclusion, no matter the obstacles that we face. And many times those obstacles are our own shadows, our own limiting beliefs, and our own old patterns. Although we are imperfect human beings, no matter our physical size or strength, our willpower can enable us to identify and use our many strengths to overcome the limiting flaws that derail so many creative projects and cause poor decision making. The root of almost all human caused suffering. So when I was contemplating a little further and deeper on that, it's like, for me, this impulse to draw and paint well has been in my body for most of my lifetime. And I shut it down when I was about 10 because somebody criticized my drawing at school. And it's been a lifelong journey of dipping my toes into the water, stepping out, forgetting about it for a few years, coming back because the impulse wouldn't be quiet. That inner artisan in me is demanding to be expressed. So as an adult, I expressed in fashion and garments and then textile art and then embroidery. And while all of that's absolutely beautiful, I was tiptoeing around the real issue. And that is I feel incomplete because I can't draw and paint and express myself freely in that way. So how does that affect you? What does that bring up in you, if anything? Is there a particular area of creativity that you keep threading around the edges of? You know it's there, but you don't want to look at it. You know it's there, but it feels too big, too scary, too much. Do you make excuses? I haven't got time. I haven't got energy. Very easy in this day and age to fritter away time. Social media, emails, chat GPT, DVDs, Netflix, all of it. A million ways to fritter away time. I got rid of Netflix several months ago. It was really hard for me. It took me over a year to do it, maybe 2 years. I was saying I was going to do it, and then I finally did it because the bastards put the price up and it's too expensive. So I cancelled my subscription in defiance. But also I was ready to let that go, because if I spend my evenings learning and practicing and listening to podcasts and studying, it moves me further towards the life that I want to create. Now, I still love to numb out with a good movie, don't get me wrong, or a great mini-series, but there's a balance for me, and there's willpower again. How do you impede your creative process, your creative development? By getting distracted or making excuses, putting the needs of other people before your own creative needs. We've talked about that before. Something to think about. All right, that was willpower. The second card, introspection. Introspection is often necessary to deepen our awareness of the unity and divinity of life. Now, this card absolutely correlates to what I feel the energies of September are about. August was very full on in the world. Lots of things are speeding up. Lots of projects of mine are starting to come to fruition. And I found that I needed to take time out to just sit in stillness. So I meditate every day. That's a different thing. The lovely Gene Keys man, Richard Rudd, he calls it contemplation. And it's a skill that you learn. And for me, it's hard in winter because there's no sun, but I will sit in the sunshine every day for the other half of the year and contemplate and just allow the sun to clear my thoughts. And sometimes I will just be open to whatever comes, or sometimes I will contemplate a particular issue or subject, or ask for guidance on a particular area. So how does introspection look for you? Maybe it's going for a walk, maybe it's going to the beach. A friend of mine goes to the hot springs. Maybe it's playing with the dog. I think that's more joy rather than introspection. I take that one back. All right, let's see what the book says. The introspection card is an indication that problems associated with the matter in question are the result of either too much or not enough time spent looking within. Introspection is accomplished when we walk in nature or sit in silence. It is in this way, it is very close to the practice of meditation, but it is different. The appearance of the introspection card can be a call to isolate yourself more than you have been doing and to seek your answers from within yourself not from external sources. I'll come back to that in a second. Introspection can be one of the best things to help you deal with delay, disappointments, and setbacks of every kind. If too much time is spent on introspection, however, it can indicate that the practice is being used like any other fear-based method to escape and avoid doing the work. So yeah, I agree with that. I think it's the same with meditation. You can use it as a spiritual bypassing tool, and it's a form of distraction instead of actually listening to the guidance and then taking action that on that guidance that comes through. But what I felt really very much about the energy of this card is something that's been present with me probably all of this year, but particularly last month and this month, is there is so much noise, so much information going on, that the time to really learn the art of contemplation, the art of introspection, I think is more important now than ever. So there's your action prompt for this month if you would like one. My invitation to you is to sit quietly and practice contemplation and introspection and see what arises for you. Now, you'll know that I'm a mad keen journaler, so I will often sit and then journal. Or if my mind is so busy because I am worried or I've slipped into fear about a situation, then I will journal it or paint it out first, and then I can get to that quiet place of introspection where the guidance can come. It links into what I was saying before about distraction and just how powerful we are as human beings. And we've been conditioned not to be quiet, not to be still, not to go within, because that's where the gold lies. So this month, September 2025, let's use this little bit of guidance, willpower, and introspection together. And, ask for guidance, ask for steps in the area that you need to apply willpower to the most this month. And from my heart to yours, I hope that creative oracle reading is helpful to you and resonates with you. Let me know. I'd love to know your thoughts. From my heart to yours. I will see you again next week. Bye for now.